Hello students, welcome to my office. I thought maybe the sound would be a little better in here. I also have no idea what I'm going to teach you in this video, so that's exciting. So welcome to your scrap metal video. I guess I'm just going to show you some different things that you can do to a couple different items or materials that you might have collected. So first things first, I guess. If you have an aluminum can, soda can, pop can, there are a couple things that you can do that maybe you don't know. I think if you take steel wool or sandpaper, if you have any of this at your house, see what kind of awful noises we can make. I believe you can get rid of the color on the can. It's kind of working. Let's see if the steel wool works. So, you know, if you wanted the can for some reason and not the color, you could do that. Probably, you know, everything I have here is like fine sandpaper because I teach metals and glass and we usually use like silver and stuff like that. So I would assume whatever grit sandpaper you have at home would take it off a little bit quicker. A couple other things you can use pop tabs. If you want to know, this is how I take a pop tab off. I bend it again, I flip it around, and then I pull it off, ooh, just like that, because then you can keep the tab, I don't know, it's intact. There's that little circle that's still together. So like if you wanted that, I don't know, if your sculpture is jewelry or you want to connect it somehow with those little tabs, that's a way to do that too. Ask your friends to help, you know, collect this kind of stuff too, or family members. Also aluminum cans, I guess I wasn't done with this yet. If you have a utility knife, I believe they're pretty easy to cut, and they are. So if you just wanted to like slice and dice a portion of it out, you probably could. Remember to always cut away from yourself. Make sure that you're, ooh, that was a bad noise. Make sure that your hand's not in the way while you're cutting, that you keep the blade down and that you're safe. But you could like, look, you can just cut part of this and you could like bend it or do something that way. Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe now it's a little, I don't know, container that somebody sits in, like a little alien or a spaceman. Why do I think it has to be related to space? I don't know. Right? Like this is your alien head and he could be living in here. Just some thoughts, okay? This is what you're doing while you're thinking about being creative. I have some soup cans too, some aluminum cans of this sort. I always, when I take the lid off, don't take it off the whole way. I don't know why. But remember too, with metal, if you bend it back and forth enough times, it will break off, which means if you don't have like a wire cutter or something in your house, that's always a way if the metal's thin enough to do that. I have a couple of these. Remember, you can find all sorts of sizes of cans, right, that can like fit in each other and stuff, so you could build something that way perhaps. I don't know. I also wanted to point out, I wonder how the sound quality is about to be here. But I couldn't find any nails in here, but I did find some screws. And of course we have hammers here. So you probably could pound through this can. Sure you can. For several reasons, like maybe you want to make holes all over the place and put a, you know, a candle in there and it becomes a beautiful candle holder of some sort. Or perhaps, I don't know, you just need a couple holes, or you want to use screws or nails and make this. Remember the dog we saw in the PowerPoint, like that had little legs? Like you could have it resting that way. So yeah, like nails and screws I don't think we talked about either, but those would be a great way to use things. Remember too, with any of these cans, you can crush them and manipulate them that way too. I mean, maybe you can't, maybe not with your hands, but you could hammer them. I'll spare you the loud noises. Just some other things to think about. Also, you know, we have wire here. I hope you have a little bit left, which means you also probably have a wire cutter. So you could use this, again, like if you had holes in here, you could thread the wire through for some reason. You could have it, you know, connect to something else this way too. You could wrap the wire around your object you know, like around both objects to hold them together somehow. But this wire could work that way, as so could paper clips, I think, which might be a little more readily available than the wire, but you could use them the same way, like to connect the vessels somehow. Um, you know, they could hang off. You could make something that way too, have something else hanging off a different way. So this would be a good resource to use as well. What else do I have laying around? Oh, I do recommend, I know I told one of my classes, but not the other, super glue. If you have this at home, I do have a couple of them here that I'd be more than happy to let you use. I don't have enough for everybody though, so that's kind of a struggle. But I recommend, I don't care what name brand it is, but gel super glue. Okay, this isn't the stuff that comes out like water and gets all over everything. It's actually like pretty easy to control. And also hot glue guns. Again, safety, right? You never touch the tip of this, it gets really hot. Never touch the glue after it comes out. But I believe this is a pretty good resource, like if you wanted to glue metal together quickly. This glue works as soon as it's cool to the touch. So if you wanted to do something like make scales to that fish that we saw, this would be an easy way to do that with the hot glue. Works pretty well. Again, I have a couple hot glue guns at school. I don't have enough for everybody, but if you wanted to borrow it and use it for this project, I'd be more than happy to leave it out for the materials drop-off day for you. So I think that's really all I have to show. I probably am also going to show you the stuff in class. If you have any questions, have different materials, and you want me to talk about those too, I'd be happy to respond to an email or meet you at Touchpoints, and we can talk about it then, okay? Good luck. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you in class.